welcome. The second presidential debate has come and gone. It was in the blue state of New York, hosted by a CNN anchor who appeared to be a close friend of Barack Obama at many times during this debate. And the question seemed to be a little bit left-leaning. It was a wild Donnybrook, but a lot came out. Don, what people will remember is what was said about Libya. Your take on that?
Well, the president showed up last night, and he stayed awake, which is more than he did the night the embassy was under attack when he went to bed. Candy Crowley, the CNN world-famous buffet tester, put her thumb on the scales on that, and after the debate, she admitted Romney was right. The president never called the attack in Benghazi terrorism in the Rose Garden the next morning, as the president said he did, and Crowley said he did. And essentially, as with the rest of the debate, Romney was debating both Crowley and the Oracle of Pennsylvania Avenue.
Right. Now, there were, of course, a number of other issues that came up outside of Libya. We heard about government regulation, and here's one of the bickering matches of the night.
In the last 4 years, you cut permits and licenses on federal land and federal waters in half.
Not true, Governor Romney.
So how much did you cut them by?
Not true.
By how much did you cut them by then?
Governor, we have actually produced more oil.
No. How much did you cut licenses and permits on federal land and federal waters?
Governor Romney, here's what we did. There were a whole bunch of oil companies.
No, I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
You want me to answer
How
a
much
question?
did you cut them by?
I'm happy to answer the question.
All right, and it is?
Here's what happened. You had a whole bunch of oil companies who had leases on public lands that they weren't using. So what we said was, you can't just sit on this for 10, 20, 30 years, decide when you want to drill, when you want to produce, when it's most profitable for you. These are public lands. So if you want to drill on public lands, you use it or you lose it.
Okay, Don, it appears that Barack Obama never did actually answer the governor's question. Your take on this?
Well, of course he didn't answer it because he doesn't have an answer. Near the end of the debate, when it got to gas prices that are caused by his locking up federal lands and not allowing oil exploration on them, when they talked about gas prices, he fell back on the old reliable. He blamed it on Bush.
Right. There was also talk on the major issue still in 2012, jobs.
And what's happened over the last 4 years has been very, very hard for America's young people. I want you to be able to get a job. I know what it takes to get this economy going. We have fewer people working today than we had when the president took office. If the unemployment rate was 7.8% when he took office, it's 7.8% now. But if you calculated that unemployment rate, taking back the people who dropped out of the workforce, it would be 10.7%.
Okay, Don, did Romney hit the Obama administration hard enough on jobs?
Yes, I think he did, and he's reinforcing what people already know. People know the job situation is terrible. They have friends, relations, neighbors who are out of work or who have dropped out of the labor force and are having a tough time. I mean, we all see it. And the president is only interested in one job, and that's his own.
Okay, and of course we heard about Mitt Romney's tax plan and what it would do to the deficit, which leads up to the debt.
The president's spending, the president's borrowing will cause this nation to have to raise taxes on the American people, not just at the high end. A recent study has shown the people in the middle class will see $4,000 a year higher taxes as a result of the spending and borrowing of this administration.
All right, now, of course, if there is one person who can't talk about the deficit, which leads to the debt, it would be President Barack Obama. He's been absolutely ridiculous in that department. Don, do you think Mitt Romney won this debate, or did he do himself a lot of harm?
I think he came out of it all right. He came across as sincere. He came across as caring. And the president came across as a college professor. He brought his stump speech to the debate, and that's what he stuck to because that's all he knows.
All right. Thank you very much, Don. We will see you next debate.